Alright, so now I'm going to begin priming the remaining colors, which is the purple, the lighter pinkish color, the darker pinkish color, and the white. And normally I would either use Mr. Surfacer Primer, number 1200, or Tamiya Surfacer Primer, which is a grayish tone. There's no specific reason to have either or. I use them for priming on whatever kit that I have. But considering how small the parts are, spraying this could be a bit of a chore, because when you blast paint with the spray can on whether it's larger parts, it's fine. Smaller parts, the primer will collect up and form up a little glob here and there, and pretty much that's all she wrote. Then you have to start sanding down all the primer parts again, and you want to get that nice fine detail. So that's why I'm using this one, which is the Mr. Surfacer Primer 1000. Mr. Surfacer 1000. I've always wanted to use this. I've seen many people use this. Meccano Man and Vegeta. I've seen their channels when they use this to mix them. This is a good bottle here. It should be enough for a couple of kits. I haven't used this yet, so I want to try this. And to thin it out, I'm going to use Mr. Color's leveling thinner, which will allow me to thin this out. I've already cleaned up my airbrush. Well, first things first, make sure that it needs a bit of a cleaning up. I actually cleaned out on the outside. I didn't clean out on the inside. Just gonna give it a nice bubble mix. And with a stir. I think that's pretty good. It does have the consistency of milk, as you guys always hear. Just give me a second while I position the camera. And as you can see, the aftermath of my last painting. Alright, we're not going to take too long. We're just going to do some priming here so you guys can see this, and we'll begin with the purple purple parts. Let me just give it a nice blast. It's showing off the spider web. Not a good idea to use this. Let me give it another coat. Hang on a second. Okay, I think I figured it out. So let's try something for small, which I can then clean up later on if I have to, so I'll use this for now. Damn, it still does the spider webs. Hang on a second. Okay. I think I figured it out. Nice even coat of primer, as you can see there. However, I'm not gonna prime the entire purple parts. The reason why is it's being painted flat black, and flat black is kind of a primer itself, so it will not be painted primer color. Instead, I'm going to begin with the parts that represents the dark blue. We'll use this as an example. See, that's a nice even coat of primer right there. Unlike the spray paint where it will eventually oversaturate and you'll have that little problem with globs and the primer builds up. You have to then sand it down. This one, I'm doing an even coat like if I'm spray painting it normally, and it'll cover up the color. So I'm definitely liking this, how it's coming out. It conforms with the part perfectly. Let me give you another example. As a matter of fact, let's see here. Oh, we'll use this one. So that came out okay as well. Alright. This is going to take me some time. And when I'm done, I will then move on to the next part of the painting phase. And that will be painting the colors. Okay, so now that all the prime parts have been primed, and it's ready to be painted, we're now going to move on with the painting of the colors. First up is going to be the Nato Black, which I have ready on my airbrush. I know I told you guys that I was not going to prime the purple parts, but I had a little left over in the reservoir of my airbrush, so I primed all the purple parts regardless. Let's see how this Nato Black works with this. I'm going to give it a light pass for now. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let this dry and then I'll give it another pass. Let's try this guy right here, the center body of this. So I let it dry a little bit, so now I'm going to give it a final pass. Came out pretty good. And the contrast pretty nice with the white. And it has a nice flat look to it. Like a, yeah, that came out really nice. Let me do that on this one. Okay, but I'm now digging the fact that a little bit of the purple is bleeding through the edges. I'm gonna let it dry and then I'll give it another pass. And though I primed it, it needed to be, I guess, primed again. I'm almost done with this, so once I'm done, we'll move on to the next color. Okay, next up, it's going to be the blue X4 paint that I'm going to be painting on the darker reddish pinkish color. Got my airbrush ready, and I'm going to start with a small covering, light covering first. That's good enough. So right now I'm just going to do a series of light coverings, as you can see here. I want to make sure I want to get all of it in there. Make sure you want to get the edges. Last thing you don't want is something to cover up, to come out.